Hey beauties, it's my birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Like, don't crack. That's a fact.
Clock that. And on this face, let's get into that, cause honey, hey beauties, welcome back again. So it was my birthday on the 29th of April, which is the day that I actually filmed this look, and I am posting this like a whole month later. Can you imagine? But babes, it is not my fault. I have been busy, okay? Your girl has been busy. But babes, I am excited to take you along on this makeup journey. So here we go again. I am excited to show you the process of how I created this look. And I must say, initially I wasn't gonna create anything for my birthday, but then as the time went by, I was like, you know what? Why not? I am going to create something anyway. And so I instantly just created this. The funny thing is that people saw this on YouTube, right? People saw this on YouTube and they thought it was AI. I was like, wait, what? Like, people seriously thought it was AI. They were commenting AI. I was like, huh? Do I look like AI? Like, what do you mean AI? What are you talking about? And it was the funniest because, honey, I am real, okay? I can assure you I am a real person. I must say though, when I posted the short version of this tutorial, I used Gemini to create the cover picture, or rather, I asked Gemini to add a cake into my hand. So maybe that's what people saw and thought it was AI, but I don't know. You can't say AI without watching the whole thing, right? But it was just a cover picture. Everything else is real, no AI here. But back to the makeup. As I was creating it, I was talking or thinking to myself, what am I going to do with the eyes? Because, you know, I'm very big on eyes and brows and stuff like that. And then as I was thinking, I remembered that I have this beautiful eyeshadow in my collection that I barely use. And it is very watery. It gives you like a water glossy look on the eyelids. So pretty. And it is Duochromatic rather, so it's like it's one color, but when you turn to the side it gives you another color, right? And it is like teal looking. But when I finished this eyeshadow, I was like, oh my goodness. As always, I went in with my base, and you know, I wanted like a glowy base, so I made sure to hydrate. I made sure to do whatever I needed to do so my skin would look flawless and glowy underneath the makeup, okay? And if you've watched any of my other tutorials, you will know that I love to underpaint, so that is exactly what we went for. I did the underpainting, applied my concealer, my blush, my contour, everything to have a good base, and then I applied my foundation, as you see here, to every other place where there were no products. I do sandwich my setting spray, so I went in with that before blending everything out. And mostly when I'm sandwiching, I don't let it dry, because remember, setting spray is to set, right? And so when I use the setting spray or a hydrating spray, I kind of let it be dewy and blend everything out. I don't let it fully dry before blending it out, because I still want to be able to blend it seamlessly. Now, every pro MUA knows after applying your liquid products comes your powder products, so you can set them. And that's what you see me do when I applied my powder blush, my setting powder under my eyes, and my contour powder. I mostly use a bronzer for that anyway, so I made sure that everything was blended and seamless and diffused on the edges, so it will not give any harsh lines. And after blending that out, I went ahead with the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder under my eyes, because when I'm applying the eyeshadow, I did not want the fallout of the eyeshadow to interfere with the base of my makeup. So putting the setting powder there can help me easily clean out or clean away the excess that would drop on my face, which I barely had anyway, but you know, it's better to be safe than to be sorry. So I used my bronzer as a transitioning shade for my eyeshadow, because I wanted the base to be nice and blended with everything else that I had going on. You don't want a base or a transitioning shade that will overpower what you're doing, right? And so I applied the transitioning shade. I then went in with some dark brown shadows to the outer corner, and then applied my eyeshadow primer to create a short crease to the front part of my eyes, because I didn't want the whole thing to, you know, be a cut crease, and that's why I just did like a half cut crease. And whenever I'm done finishing my eyeshadow primer, I apply powder on top of it to prevent the shadow from mixing with the primer. And after I had applied the powder on it, I mostly use a powder puff for that. And after I was done with that, I went in with a darker shade of eyeshadow, a dark brown eyeshadow to the outer part of my eyes to kind of diffuse that harsh middle line where the dark shade transitions into the lighter shade. And I wanted to apply an eyeliner. However, I didn't want a full eyeliner. I wanted like a half eyeliner where I can blend the outer part into my eyeshadow. So after creating the eyeliner, I went in with my bronzer again to blend the middle part of the transitioning from dark to light, so it can all be, you know, seamless and lightly diffused. And after that, I made sure to blend the upper part of my eyes to diffuse those harsh lines, as you can see. And when I was done with all of that, I went in with a dark eyeshadow, a black eyeshadow, to blend the outer part of my eyeliner into my eyeshadow. Now, of course, I had to make sure it was well blended, and so after blending that out, I went back in with my bronzer and diffused all the harsh edges and lines. And then came my favorite part, that glossy lids I was talking about. I mean, look at that. Look. That color is so pretty. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. It is better to see it in person to actually appreciate how good it looks. And remember, I said it was a duochromatic eyeshadow, so when you look at it in its original part, you would think it is a bit teal. It has a bit teal color to it, right? Like teal purple-ish. But then when I put it on and I looked at it, I was like, ooh, it actually even matched my outfit better. Like, when you turn around, you see a little green going on. Like, see how glossy it is? I was so gagged at this, and I knew I had made the right choice, baby. I knew. So of course I had to go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup. I dusted away the setting powder from under my eyes, added some brightening powder under my eyes to, you know, give it a little pop. And after that, I set my face and finished my lips. For the lips, I wanted something nude because, you know, I had a lot going on my eyes, so I didn't want my lips to overtake the whole look, right? So I opted for a nude lipstick. I had a dark brown chocolate lip liner, which I used, and I topped that off with the lime crime lipstick in the shade Salem. And after that, I went on again with a lime crime lipstick in the shade Saddle. And after that, I blended everything out and topped it up with the Revolution lipstick in the shade Icon, and then the Mina lipstick in the shade 501, I guess. And after that, I went and applied some black liner to my waterline, you know, to make sure that you don't see any gaps between my eyes and the lashes, and also to my lower lash. I blended some of the eyeshadow, the dark brown eyeshadow, under my eyes, and I wanted my inner eyes to pop, so I went ahead and added some white eyeshadow to the inner eyes to make it more brightened. And as you can see, it made it absolutely lovely. And as I said in the beginning, I was going for a glowy look, so I made sure to top it off with some highlighter, because hey, what is a glow without some highlight, right? Now I went ahead and finished the rest of my lips, which is just to top it off with some lip gloss to give it that high glossy rich look. And this, my dear ladies and gentlemen, is the final look. I mean, look at how good this is. I mean, I can imagine why somebody would think it is AI, but honey, it was not. The eyes, the lips, the look, absolutely stunning. I was gagged of how good it turned out, how good it looked. Let me know what you think in the comments, and thank you for watching. Bye.